I told you about what the Baltimore Sun is reporting about this brand new restaurant being broken into. You could see the robbers there. They're like literally taking out crates and boxes and all this other stuff, and they just opened on March 27th. It's why would anybody want to invest in Baltimore City? Why? And then on top of it, then they give, like I said before, a lot of grief to like the Atlas Group and Sinclair Media and all this other stuff. These are the only people investing in your city that can take it on the chin every now and again when they are robbed. And it's a sad situation, but that's what happens. They're dealing with the crime just like everybody else. Like, come on. I mean, and then they're talking about high-rise condos, million-dollar condos they want to build there in Inner Harbor. You're still going to have the same thugs running around the streets on their dirt bikes. They even use those stupid motorized scooters, too. It's a mess. Even Mayor Bowser in D.C., even she knew to get some of the crazy chaos off the streets of D.C. It's insanity. I got Bill in Rice-Town. Bill, did you want to weigh in?
Yes, ma'am. Morning to you.
Morning.
I have been around for 66 years come May, and when in 1977, I worked down in Gobins at the Exile Station, Cold Spring River Road. And back then, it wasn't motorcycles, it was bicycles. It would be packs of kids, all bicycles here coming up your road, blowing whistles and just go through the intersection and riding, coming down the road, Cold Spring Lane, that kind of stuff. So it's not something that's new as far as hot summer day and packs of kids, if you know what I mean.
I guess, this has been going on for quite some time, and I guess that's why the mayor says it's part of the culture, but somebody's got to put a stop to the cycle.
What the racist mayor doesn't realize, and this is just my opinion as a career white guy, is I used to spend a lot of money downtown. I mean, a portion of my salary and stuff. We used to go down to Scupper and different restaurants down there. I haven't been in Baltimore since Freddie Gray, and I won't go back down. And it's almost like they're trying to chase the white people out, and they're going to get what they're going to do it. They're going to take the money, white and black money, out of the city, and it's going to be it's a dump. But I don't know if you remember the shipyards and that kind of stuff. When Baltimore was an industrial city, so there's no jobs. They removed all the jobs that people would do. There's nothing for anybody to do. You can't support a city on tourism if you have thugs ride around on dirt bikes or bicycles or just walking around, just robbing people. People aren't going to go down there.
Yeah. Well, Bill, I hope you have a happy Easter weekend. Thank you so much for weighing in.
Yes, ma'am. I woke up this morning and I'm having a great weekend. So you have a nice one yourself.
Thank you. God bless. I will wrap this conversation up because I do want to get back to the question of the day and kind of, go off with that one. But I will say that, it's a shame because Baltimore is headed in the wrong direction. But we'll wrap this up and you guys have Rob Carson coming up at 12. So stay right there.
Nothing can be more frustrating than working hard your entire life, saving as much as possible, then watching your money go down right before retirement. Mike Connect, Ryan Herbert, and the team at ProStatus Financial can help. They're going to sit down with you personally to create a complete retirement plan, which includes the 401k X-ray,
families and their money, and they're leaving because Baltimore is that bad. Now, Robert and Tesla, I did mention that the African-American community definitely contributed a lot to the arts and entertainment and fashion and style. And I agree with you there, Robert. Of course, that is, I think probably number one is how artistic we are. And even when it comes to sporting, I would think that we are, many people would say that, some of the top athletes are black for sure. And on top of that, though, what we see, whether it's, some of these places of leadership, right? When I think of like Jasmine Crockett or VP Kamala Harris, or even why Ketanji Brown Jackson was chosen, it's like you had so many people saying, oh, we should choose them because they're black, but we never focused on their resume or the things that they've accomplished. And as I always say, Jasmine Crockett, and she's playing a character. She's a very intelligent, articulate woman when she wants to be herself. There are many videos out there showcasing just that. But, right now, because the way that, the majority of the black community is, she knows, pandering in this way where she's like this character, like a hood rat. That's what's, that's what gets, some of the black community going. That's what's popular. And if that's the case, then we've got a huge problem. But we can talk about more of this another day. I did get another text back from Joe. He says we do value accountability for everyone, not just us. Yeah, okay. We see zero accountability. Right now they're changing laws in Annapolis so that black juveniles robbing people at gunpoint have no accountability. So that's not part of our value list either there, Joe. But we'll let you try again next week. All right, as far as the question of the day, Pam Bondi, 40% of you say you would replace the AG with Trey Gowdy. 25% of you say others. That's somebody on the list that I have here. 22% of you say Lee Zeldin, and 13% of you say Harmeet Dillon. And then on the names that I wrote down, as far as text messages coming through, most of you are saying Judge Janine Pirro. So that's what we've got. We'll see what President Trump does about it. Also, I wanted to know, because I mentioned it just a bit yesterday, did you guys see the 11-year-old twins that were caught in Baltimore City breaking into cars? Yeah, 11 years old. Twins breaking into cars in Baltimore City and stealing items. We've got a long way to go, but if the mayor thinks they're going to sell high-rise condos worth millions of dollars in the Inner Harbor, and seeing the juveniles being arrested every weekend down there, the chaos, the commotion, the dirt bikes, Mr. Mayor, you're not going to be able to sell anything. No one's coming if you don't clean this up. So let's make sure it's not another summer of hell in Baltimore City. I want to say again, happy Good Friday to everybody. Hope you have a beautiful Easter weekend. I'll be back with you on Monday at 9 a.m. As always, Brian, the producer, thank you for a great show. Enjoy the weekend with your granddaughters. And to all of you, spend time with your family. Have a good time. Enjoy.
Do you need a new roof? Call Badger at 443 New Roof. At Badger Contracting, we inspect your roof, give you a free estimate, and work to improve and protect your home. We are a trusted local company that's worked on thousands of roofs, large and small. Call now, get a free estimate, 20% off your new roof, and a free gutter system. Call me, Barry Flack, at 443 New Roof. For immediate response, call 443 New Roof. Badger Contracting. Our job is your satisfaction.
WCBM reaches all types of entrepreneurs, businesses, associations, and schools. Now is your chance to explain live, by the way of your own radio show, exactly how your business or association can benefit the WCBM listener through your own show. You control the dialogue. You control the subject matter. You control your own results. This is a great opportunity that WCBM can give to you. For more information, call Andy Grimshaw or visit WCBM.com.
Fellowship also offers a fixed-rate line of credit for home projects or consolidating a high-interest debt with fast approval and a predictable rate. Remember, many people still qualify to skip their next 2 mortgage payments. That's 2 months of breathing room while you reposition financially. I've used Fellowship personally. I trust these guys. Before you make your next move, go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G. fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G. or call 800-510-MIKE. 800-510-MIKE. Fellowship Home Loans. Mortgage lending by